Bryce James, the youngest son of NBA legend LeBron James, has officially signed with the Arizona Wildcats basketball program. On April 17, 2025, the Arizona Wildcats made the big announcement through their social media channels, confirming that Bryce James had officially signed with their basketball program. This follows his verbal commitment from January 1st, 2025. The Wildcats didn't just share custom graphics to welcome their new recruit, they also released a video featuring Bryce himself. In the video, the 17-year-old appears confidently wearing a Wildcats jersey and delivers a brief but powerful message to his new fans.
What's going on, Wildcat Nation? Can't wait to get there and start working. Bear down.
The significance of this signing extends beyond just another basketball recruit. Bryce is following in some big footsteps. His older brother Bronny has already made history by becoming the first son to play alongside his father in the NBA. Now, basketball fans everywhere are wondering, could lightning strike twice? Bryce James comes to Arizona as a 3-star shooting guard from Sierra Canyon High School in California. Standing at 6'4", he's ranked number 257 in the 247 composite rankings for the 2025 class. While these numbers might not immediately jump off the page, scouts see tremendous potential in the youngest James. Before choosing Arizona, Bryce received offers from Ohio State and Duquesne early in his recruitment process. What ultimately swayed his decision? Reports suggest that Arizona's coach Tommy Lloyd's reputation for player development and his patient approach to that process were major factors. Jason Shear of 247 Sports wrote this: sources tell WildcatAuthority.com that one of the main reasons why James was drawn to Arizona is Tommy Lloyd's ability to develop players and his patience with that process. James recently took an unofficial to Arizona and came away impressed with the overall campus and approach of the program. This wasn't Bryce's first taste of Arizona basketball. He visited the school on November 22nd for their game against Duke at McHale Center, even posting a photo of himself in a UA letter jacket with the words "Bear Down." A question that has now been definitively answered. So what kind of player is Bryce James? According to scouts, he brings a fundamentally sound game to the table. Adam Finkelstein of 247 Sports provided this assessment after scouting him in 2023. Bryce James is the son of LeBron James, and that means, like his older brother Bronny, he's under the microscope. Bryce needs to be given time and space to run his own race, though. He may not be the dynamic athlete or playmaker some expect at first, but he is a fundamentally sound player with solid perimeter size and a good early skill set. He possesses clear shooting potential with naturally soft touch, compact release, and the ability to make both threes and pull-ups. His left hand is advanced for his age, and he also has a good early understanding of the game. Physically, he has a solid build for an underclassman, but is still just growing into his body a bit, and so far from a finished product. In his senior season at Sierra Canyon, Bryce averaged 8.0 points and 4.2 rebounds per game. While these numbers may seem modest, they reflect a player who's still developing and finding his footing in the game. What makes Bryce's signing particularly exciting for Arizona fans is that he joins an already impressive 2025 recruiting class. The Wildcats have officially added 5-star forward Peat, ranked number 8 overall nationally, 5-star guard Brayden Burries, ranked number 11 overall, and 4-star forward Dwayne Aristode, who signed in November. This collection of talent has Arizona's 2025 recruiting class ranked number 1, 4th in the country by 247 Sports. Peat is particularly noteworthy as the top-ranked recruit from Arizona. The 6'8" forward chose UA over ASU, Baylor, Houston, and Texas Tech. He is the highest-rated player to sign with the Wildcats under Tommy Lloyd. Burries, a 6'4" combo guard, selected Arizona over Alabama, Oregon, Tennessee, and USC. Both Peat and Burries are projected as first-round picks in the 2026 NBA Draft. The addition of Bryce James to this already stellar recruiting class has Arizona fans buzzing with excitement. Social media exploded with reactions following the announcement. "Welcome to the family, young man. Bear down," wrote one fan. Another commented, "All the Bryce haters can suck it. This kid brings massive media attention to the program, and he's also a solid player." The enthusiasm continued with comments like "Bear down, Bryce," and "Yes, sir, the striving for greatness continues. Don't hate, congratulate. WTG Bryce Maximilian." Arizona's official announcement post featuring Bryce generated impressive engagement, tallying over 175,000 likes and 900 comments in just the first 5 hours. LeBron James himself responded to the news of his son's signing. When Bryce initially committed in January, LeBron posted this on Instagram. "Down, congratulations, Maximus! So proud of you, James Gang." Following the official signing announcement, LeBron reposted the news on his Instagram story, showing his continued support for his son's basketball journey. Bryce's decision to sign with Arizona places him in a program with a rich history of developing NBA talent. Current NBA players who came through Arizona include DeAndre Ayton of Portland Trail Blazers, Lauri Markkanen of Utah Jazz, Aaron Gordon of Denver Nuggets, and TJ McConnell of Indiana Pacers. The Wildcats are coming off a solid season with a 24-13 record, reaching the Sweet 16 before losing to Duke by a score of 193. The program will have several key players returning next season. Guards Jaden Bradley and Anthony Del Orso and forward Toby Awaka will be seniors, while center Motiejas Krivas will be a junior. Additionally, forward Carter Bryant, a projected first-round pick, has until April 26th to decide whether to enter the 2025 NBA Draft or return for his sophomore season. But the most intriguing storyline surrounding Bryce's signing revolves around the potential future of the James family in the NBA. Could we one day see LeBron James playing alongside both of his sons in the league? It seems far-fetched, but with LeBron's unprecedented longevity and continued high-level play, it might not be completely impossible. Let's break down the timeline for this potential historic moment. Bryce, now 17, is set to make his college debut in the 2025 to 2026 NCAA season. Under current NBA eligibility rules, players must be 1 year removed from high school graduation before entering the draft. This means the 2026 NBA Draft would be Bryce's earliest opportunity to turn professional. If all goes according to plan, Bryce could potentially make his NBA debut in the 2026 to 27 season at age 19. That would also mark LeBron James' 24th NBA season when he'd be 42 years old. Even for LeBron, widely recognized as one of the most durable athletes in NBA history, that timeline presents serious challenges. Age, health, and motivation will all be critical factors, but if anyone can defy those odds, it's LeBron James. The idea of a father playing with not just one but two sons in professional sports is completely unprecedented. In baseball, Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. made history in 1990 when they played together for the Seattle Mariners, but that was just father and son. In football, iconic dynasties like the Mannings, Matthews, and Longs have spanned generations, yet never simultaneously. And in the NBA, the Curry family with Dell, Steven, and Seth offers another notable case, though they never shared a roster.
What? 20 other trying to break my record.
38,000.
2-3. It's gonna be 2 and 3. Me? Oh, y'all gonna be 2 and 3.
A LeBron, Bronny, Bryce trio would truly be uncharted territory for any major sport. This wouldn't just be a sports legacy. It would be a living sports epic, magnified by LeBron's stature as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. The basketball world is still reeling from the seismic trade that sent Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers. Can you believe it's been months since this bombshell dropped? This trade has dominated NBA headlines all year, and for good reason. The Dallas Mavericks shocked everyone when they shipped their franchise cornerstone to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. GM Nico Harrison's justification: defense wins championships. But was that really all there was to it? Shortly after the February trade, reports circulated suggesting the Mavericks had concerns about Doncic's work ethic and conditioning. These allegations added fuel to an already blazing fire. This past week, Harrison finally addressed these rumors head-on in a closed-door meeting with Dallas media members. His statement sent shockwaves through the NBA community and left fans even more outraged than before. Harrison's decision to speak came 2 months and 13 days after the trade. The format of this media session raised eyebrows immediately. What did Harrison do? He hand-selected approximately 15 reporters for a private meeting at American Airlines Center's media boardroom. The most bizarre part: no cameras or recording devices were initially allowed. This is the most toxic relationship in all of sports, one fan posted on social media. For a so-called leader to hide in a tunnel, then not allow media to record is unacceptable and extremely weak. Even reporters who attended were troubled by the restrictions. KDFW Fox reporter Sam Gannon stated, "I don't agree with the Mavs banning cameras and recording devices. Especially from a TV perspective, it's a disservice to our viewers. Having Nico Harrison quoted in print is much different than seeing his expressions and body language." After pushback from multiple reporters, the team eventually relented and allowed audio recording, but the damage to Harrison's credibility was already done. Does this sound like the actions of a GM confident in his decisions? During the nearly hour-long session, Harrison made one thing crystal clear: he stands firmly behind his decision to trade Doncic. "There's no regrets on the trade," Harrison declared. "Part of my job is to do the best thing for the Mavericks, not only today, but also in the future. Some of the decisions I'm going to make are going to be unpopular. That's my job, and I have to stand by it." This three-word response, "there's no regrets," ignited fresh outrage among Mavericks fans. One fan wrote, "Nico Harrison isn't fit to run an organization. The fan base deserves better." Another added, "Nico's delusion needs to be studied." Harrison doubled down by repeating his mantra: defense wins championships 6 times during the meeting. He expressed confidence in the roster featuring Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, and Derek Lively II, calling them a championship-caliber team. Harrison claimed, although the fans could have been upset with trading Luka, they wouldn't have been upset with the results. But with the Mavericks sitting at the 10th seed with a 39-43 record while Doncic's Lakers secured the 3rd seed, has Harrison's vision really panned out? One of the most anticipated moments of the roundtable came when Fox 4 News' Sam Gannon directly asked Harrison about reports concerning Doncic's conditioning and work ethic. Harrison's response shocked everyone. Harrison said, "No. Luka's an extremely talented player, as we all know, we've all seen. He's probably dropped the most points when maybe he's not in the best conditioning, so he can do that. That's not an issue." Did you catch that? Harrison actually acknowledged Doncic's occasional conditioning issues, but dismissed them as irrelevant because they didn't hinder his performance. Harrison further added, "When you make a trade like this, you have to really look at it in its totality. It's very thorough. We looked at everything, and again, just felt that it was in the best interest of our team going forward. I keep saying this, but defense wins championships." This directly contradicts statements from former Mavericks owner Mark Cuban, who suggested Harrison's lack of attention to understanding Doncic's background and culture influenced the trade decision. Cuban told the Stephen A. Smith Show, "You've got to understand what people are like, what their backgrounds are like, what their families are like, how they interact with other people. And that part of the world, in my experience, Luka, apart from the basketball talent, he was just like every other guy. I don't think he really took the time to understand that, and I think that led to this decision." So who's telling the truth here? Was Doncic's conditioning really a non-factor, or is Harrison attempting to rewrite history? Another contentious point has been what the Mavericks received in exchange for their 25-year-old superstar. Harrison has faced intense criticism for obtaining only Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick for Doncic. When ESPN's Tim McMahon challenged the logic behind trading Doncic while lacking first-round draft picks through 2030, Harrison again returned to his defensive philosophy. "With our philosophy of defense wins championships, we wanted a two-way player to lead our team," Harrison said. "And that was Anthony Davis, and so everybody's going to have their critics, but we got what we wanted." Harrison also made a surprising claim about Doncic's future in Dallas, stating there was no guarantee he would have signed the Supermax. This assertion sparked particular outrage among fans who noted Doncic's emotional return to Dallas and the tears he made no attempt to conceal, suggesting he never wanted to leave. The GM defended the secrecy surrounding the trade negotiations, explaining, "The players dictate where they go, and you can't shop your best player. A lot of trades that you think are going to happen don't happen. A trade might not work, and then they have to ultimately play under the scrutiny of being shopped." But does this explanation hold water given the magnitude of trading away a franchise player? Harrison pointed to injuries as a primary reason why his vision for the team hasn't materialized. The injuries have indeed been significant. Anthony Davis suffered a left adductor strain in his Mavericks debut, missing 6 weeks. Kyrie Irving tore his ACL and is expected to be out well into next season. Daniel Gafford missed 21 games with a right knee sprain. Jaden Hardy sprained his ankle 4 times. Derek Lively suffered what turned out to be a stress fracture. Harrison noted there were stretches where the team fielded only 8 players, with only 7.5 of them could actually play. The statistics support the team's struggles post-trade. Since Doncic's departure, the Mavericks have had the 7th worst defensive rating in the NBA at 120.8, a stark contradiction to Harrison's defensive philosophy. As the 10th seed in the Western Conference, the Mavericks now face elimination in the play-in tournament against the Sacramento Kings. Meanwhile, Doncic and the Lakers secured the 3rd seed and will face the 6th-seeded Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round. Have the injuries simply been bad luck, or is this the inevitable result of Harrison's miscalculation? The reaction from media members who attended the session was overwhelmingly negative. ESPN's Tim McMahon blasted Harrison on national television. McMahon said,
Nico Harrison's next birthday party, but did you know that defense wins championships? We were reminded of that over and over and over and over and over again. Yesterday, everything that Nico Harrison was asked about the trade came back to it. How could you give her up? A generational talent entering his prime, just months removed from a finals berth. Defense wins championships. Why keep that process so secretive and deflate the value of the return? Why not maximize the return at least? Defense wins championships. Building that finals team, you gave up your picks from 27 to 30. You said you got a 3 to 4 year time frame. How does that make sense for the long-term best interest of the Dallas Mavericks? Defense wins championships. Well, Matt Barry, we're going to find out tonight in Sacramento if defense can win a 9-10 playoff game, baby.
That is unbelievable that was – because you guys obviously being responsible media, I mean, you went at him to try to get an answer. That's literally all he said was that defense wins championships?
I mean, he said a little bit more, but it kept coming back to that. And the simple fact is it was a complete and epic failure 2.5 months after the fact to explain the logic behind the most controversial trade in NBA history. If the point was to soothe the feelings of an outraged fan base, this was an epic failure.
Tim Cato of DLLS Sports echoed these sentiments, criticizing Harrison for a lack of transparency. Cato said,
that there's a moment he's like, he scores a lot even when he's not in very good shape or something like that, not at his best injury-wise. But it was just a lot of what you've heard, and at the end, I didn't feel it was that transparent. That's the thing that most stood out, is that if you're going to do it in this way, if you're going to have just a very select number of media members, you're not going to film it, you're not going to televise it. At this point, why not be more transparent about the exact workings of the thing? If you're just going to say the same thing over and over again, defense wins championships, when the team was a top 10 defense after the trade deadline last season, that defense helped get them to the NBA Finals. If you're not going to explain why you thought that defense from last year was flawed, when asked about it.
When Cato asked Harrison what he thought was the biggest misunderstanding fans had about the Doncic trade, Harrison replied, "I think the biggest misunderstanding why this trade happened is that we feel defense wins championships." Is this repetitive messaging convincing anyone, or is Harrison merely digging himself a deeper hole? At 40 years old, LeBron James casually announced he could play until he's nearly 50. You heard that right. The NBA world is completely stunned right now, and it's time we break down exactly what happened. The Lakers made a major announcement after the NBA regular season ended. It involves both LeBron James and his new superstar teammate, Luka Doncic. But before we get to that, let's talk about what LeBron just said that has everyone's jaws on the floor. LeBron James just turned 40 last December. Most players are long retired by now, not LeBron. He's still dominating the league and setting records that seem impossible for a player his age. During a press conference, someone asked LeBron when he'll know it's time to retire. His response, pure insanity. James said, "To be honest, if I really wanted to, I could probably play this game at a high level for about another, weird that I might say this, but about another 5 or 7 years if I wanted to. But I'm not going to do that."
What will it be that tells you it's enough?
It won't be because I can't play this game at a high level. It won't because of that. Because, to be honest, if I really wanted to, I could probably play this game at a high level, probably about another, weird I might say, probably about another 5 to 7 years if I wanted to. But I'm not going to do that.
Wait, what? LeBron James thinks he could play until he's 45 to 47 years old at a high level? That's completely unheard of in NBA history. Think about this. Only Vince Carter has matched LeBron's 22 seasons in the NBA, and Carter wasn't exactly a dominant force in his final years. LeBron is suggesting he could not only match that longevity, but actually remain elite while doing so. He acknowledged how crazy this sounds, saying it's kind of laughable to see himself still playing at this level at his age. Still being such a young man, but old in the scheme of how many years I've got in this profession, LeBron said.